on August of 2020, I preached a different scripture with this same story about the man with the deformed hand, entitled Hold Out Your Hand. And so that you can understand that the plotting won't matter, I'll use the same clothes tonight that I used in that way. Reminded of a story of a father traveling with his daughter. Daughter was definitely allergic to bees. If she would be stung by a bee, that thing could put her into shock or even kill her. So a bee, as they were riding, a bee gets into the car. As the bee gets into the car, it's flying around, the little girl gets frantic. The father holds out his hand, grabs the bee, opens her hand, and the bee starts flying again. The little girl is afraid still. She's jumping in the back seat. She's fighting, but what she doesn't know, the father had the stinger in his hand. The bee could do her no harm. It was just flying around. Beloved, that's what Jesus did on the cross. He took the sting of death in his hands for us. As he held out his hands, he did it just for us. Oh, the enemy won't win. I hope that somebody understands today that when the plots thicken, and they will in your life, oh, let God thin it out. He still holds the future in his hand, and he still holds the power to deliver you in his hands. And he held it all in his hands when he took the sting of death at Calvary. So for somebody, hold out. All you gotta know is that when Daddy tells you to hold out your hand, like the man who was there, God delivered and saved him, gave him his hand back. But know that our Father always has his hands on the equation. He always has his hands of blessing upon you and his hands of favor on you. And I know that times it may not look like it. Sometimes we have to go through the storm. There were times in David's journey that he didn't know what God was going to do. There were times where he didn't know that he would be saved or that he would make it through all the plotting that was done against him. But if you look at this text again and you think about what David says, he gets to the end of the road here and he writes this song of praise. Although they plot against you, their evil schemes will never succeed. For they will turn and run when they see your arrows aimed at them. Rise up, O Lord, in all your power. With music and singing, we celebrate your mighty acts. And I wonder, is there anybody here who can celebrate the mighty acts of God? Every time you've turned around, he's made a way. Every time you needed him most, he delivered. Everything that you've gone through, eventually, those enemies and those naysayers and those people, they had to eat their words. And although we know in this passage of scripture that Jesus was eventually plotted on and he eventually was killed, but that was all a part of the design. Nobody did anything to Jesus that he didn't allow. Yeah, nobody did anything to him. They thought they were doing something to him, but what they were doing to him, he was really focused on doing something for us. So as the plot thickens, we don't need to worry. Let God thin it out, and he will. Let's celebrate. Walk with joy. Walk with a song. Walk with a celebration of praise, like David, because it doesn't matter what you go through. God gets the last word, and God's blessings and favor upon you. Even though the enemy will come against you, you'll win.